The recent terror attack in Boulder, Colorado, has underscored the extreme dangers posed to our country by the entry of foreign nationals who are not properly vetted, as well as those who come here as temporary visitors and overstay their visas. We don't want them. In the 21st century, we've seen one terror attack after another carried out by foreign visa overstayers from dangerous places all over the world. And thanks to Biden's open door policies, today there are millions and millions of these illegals who should not be in our country. In my first term, my powerful travel restrictions were one of our most successful policies, and they were a key part of preventing major foreign terror attacks on American soil. We will not let what happened in Europe happen to America. That's why on my first day back in office, I directed the Secretary of State to perform a security review of high-risk regions and make recommendations for where restrictions should be imposed. Among the national security threats, their analysis considered are the large-scale presence of terrorists, failure to cooperate on visa security, inability to verify travelers' identities, inadequate record-keeping of criminal histories, and persistently high rates of illegal visa overstays, and other things. Very simply, we cannot have open migration from any country where we cannot safely and reliably vet and screen those who seek to enter the United States. That is why today I am signing a new executive order placing travel restrictions on countries including Yemen, Somalia, Haiti, Libya, and numerous others. The strength of the restrictions we're applying depends on the severity of the threat posed. The list is subject to revision based on whether material improvements are made, and likewise new countries can be added as threats emerge around the world. But we will not allow people to enter our country who wish to do us harm, and nothing will stop us from keeping America safe. Thank you very much.
Okay, that was the latest video of Donald Trump, his new travel ban. And he's essentially saying we do not want them. We do not want them. And by them, he means our neighbors. He means Haiti, Haitians. He means Cubans. He means Venezuelans. And anyone from a poor, black, or politically unstable country, essentially. From a poor, black, or politically unstable country. So, a new travel ban is back. A new travel ban from Donald Trump. And while Trinidad and Tobago isn't on that list yet, don't get comfortable. This says a lot about where the Caribbean stands in Donald Trump's world, in this new regime, in this new unrecognizable America. So today we're going to talk about what just happened, why Trump made this new announcement, how this potentially affects Trinidad and Tobago moving forward. So the countries banned, the banned countries, as Donald Trump mentioned yesterday, are to include Venezuela, Haiti, Cuba, Congo, Afghanistan, etc., etc. I think Iran's on there as well, which is unsurprising. A lot of African countries on there. Sudan, Libya, Yemen is on there. Yeah, like I said, the Congo is on there as well. And the list of banned countries to me are not surprising. Trump has always talked down African countries, any countries or Muslim majority countries. He's talked down these countries all the time. He's blamed them for the ills of the world. They do have one thing in common, these countries, mind you, and we all know what that is. So Cuba and Venezuela are two nations that sits right next to us in the Caribbean basin, if you want to call it that. The reasons he gave, or the reasons given, is he suggested that most of the people from these countries overstay their visa. He's also claimed that instability or claims of terrorism, in his words, from a lot of these countries he has put on the ban list. And of course, he's suggesting that America do not want these type of people in the country. So why does this matter to Trinidad and Tobago? You may ask yourself. So as we know, Venezuela is in close proximity to Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, it's about 15 minutes by boat from Trinidad and Tobago. So this hits close to home. We share a maritime border with Venezuela. People have fled to the shores of Trinidad and Tobago from Venezuela for years, seeking refuge. With this ban, Venezuelans are now seen as undesirable foreigners. And the US is tightening its borders whilst we bear the brunt of the migration crisis. So this is how it affects Trinidad. If Venezuelans are struggling and have nowhere to go, they cannot go to America, they may look at Trinidad as an alternative. If America is willing to blacklist Venezuela, which is essentially a neighbor of Trinidad and Tobago, what's stopping them from doing it to Trinidad and Tobago eventually? Like I say, the more that America puts sanction on Venezuela, the more sanctions they put on Venezuela, the more it affects us in Trinidad and Tobago. Because putting sanctions on America like they did with the Dragon's gas field, etc., it destroys or it adds to the destruction of the Venezuelan economy. It adds to the destruction of the Venezuela's economy, which means that there's more poor people in Venezuela, which means that they are likely to want to leave to come to places like Trinidad. So let's not pretend this is just about immigration or visas or, like Trump says, terrorism. This is a ban about who America wants in their country and who they don't want. And they certainly don't want people from black and brown countries, as it's apparent. Trump has made that clear. It's about control. It's about power. And it's about shutting out nations they see as chaotic, poor, inconvenient, undesirable. And a lot of these nations were destroyed by America themselves. So when leaders like Trump talk like this, they are talking about Trinidad and Tobago too. They just haven't said it out loud yet. All around, this is not great for the Caribbean. Hence why I say we must diversify away from the likes of America and build our own. We have to invest in our local infrastructure, our local, our natural resources, diversify the economy, and stop our over-reliance on the likes of America. The picture has been made clear. We must stop acting like we are safe just because we are not on this list yet. We are not on this list yet. That doesn't mean we are safe. We must stop thinking the US is somehow our protector, our savior. We rely way too much on them, and currently they are acting like a rogue state. The Caribbean needs to stand together, invest in each other, trade with each other, and prepare for a future where we cannot rely on the United States or anyone else or any other European countries. We must continue to rely on ourselves. We have got the infrastructure. We have got everything in the Caribbean to not need to rely on anyone else. Believe me. Because right now is Venezuela, right now is Haiti, right now is the Congo, and one day, very soon, it would be us. So why shouldn't we start preparing for when that time comes now? I'm telling you that we are not ready for it when it does happen, and it is going to happen. This man is rogue. He's got another 3 to 4 years as president. And he's even talking about changing the constitution to allow him to run for a third term. This is pure insanity. And we need to get ahead of the game. We have to look at the playbook that he's running now and stop our over-reliance on America. We do too much trade with America. We do 80% of our food trade with America. We do 40% of our gas and oil trade with America. And we need to diversify and find pastures new. So what do you think about the Trump ban? Let me know in the comments. Do you believe the Caribbean will be next? I want you to drop your thoughts below and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So like, share, subscribe. 84% of the people who watch this channel are not subscribed. We are at about 4,500 subs. If the 85 or 84% of you who are not subscribers did subscribe by just pressing that button that says subscribe, that would take us to 25,000 subs. And that way we are bigger and we can hold a lot more people to account. We have a bigger voice. More people would listen to us here, Trinidad Empowerment Network. And I'd appreciate you if you were able to subscribe. With that said, I'll see you guys on the next video. Much love. God bless. Take care. Peace.